Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Friday, July 12th. We're in the dog days of summer, but I'm enjoying sitting here recording in the air conditioning. So I hope you're having a fantastic week. I hope this stoppage time between the end of your week and the beginning of your weekend this weekend, a summer weekend, is filled with everything that you want to get out of a summer Friday afternoon. So grateful to be here with you. Didn't have so much on my mind this week. Been kind of hyper focused on a project here at work and the business, but I've been thinking about kind of two big things. One is entrepreneurial thinking, the very title of our other podcast show, and that's been on the mind a lot because of the conversations I'm having with prospective investor friends, folks that want to get involved in supporting me building up this new media production business, but also just because of the conversations that I get to have on the show. So that's been on my mind. And then the other thing that's been on my mind, it's midsummer, it's been soccer. It is the summer of soccer. Successively here in the US, we're going to have either live or broadcast events that are going to basically make this summer 2024, 2025 with the Gold Cup, 26 with the World Cup, and then 27 hypothetically, potentially in the running to host the Women's World Cup here in the US. So I suspect we're going to have the summer of soccer for like the next 4 summers, but really been enjoying soccer slash football this past month. But it was really on my mind. Enjoyed the semis, getting ready for the finals of both the Euros, the Euro Championships, 2024 coming from Germany, where I think we've got England and Spain. A friend of mine was teasing we've got the Battle of the Colonizers. So we've got that going on. The Euro finals coming up this weekend, and then as a result of last night's semifinal brouhaha between Uruguay and Colombia, we've got Colombia and Argentina in a rematch facing each other. Actually, last time Colombia lost a match, which is like 26 matches ago now, couple years back, it was to Argentina. So should be a good one. I'm a Liverpool Football Club fan. We've got a lot of Liverpool players playing. But that soccer's been on my mind. I've been really enjoying it. Got out with the family and actually went to an Angel City FC game here. Our NWSL franchise went to a match last weekend. Sadly, they didn't pull out the result 2-1 against Gotham FC. Gotham is stacked. Literally 1/3 of our U.S. women's national team Olympic roster comes from Gotham, and they were all starters. So a little bit of a disadvantage for our Angel City girls here, but they fought valiantly, and it was really entertaining to be there with the family who love soccer. So soccer's been on my mind. Competition's been on my mind. The passion, the joy that comes with the game has been on my mind. But as I said before, kind of the only other overarching theme all week has just been this idea of entrepreneurial thinking. And the question that's come up a lot that I wanted to touch on today and just share with you, that's come up a lot in the context of our investor calls and we just recorded a private podcast with our lead investor, my friend Will Stringer, about what is entrepreneurial thinking, right? And why Entrepreneurial Thinkers, the podcast, and what can we extrapolate from entrepreneurial thinking and the Entrepreneurial Thinkers podcast into this media production business that I'm building. And this platform to tell other stories of other entrepreneurial thinkers in different ways across different mediums, etc. So I thought I'd just kind of come on the record here and clarify what I think entrepreneurial thinking is, and then just give some examples of it from recent shows. So to me, entrepreneurial thinking, as I say in the setup for the show, is about more than just being an entrepreneur or an investor. It's not just about being a technologist. It's not just about being a startup person. And in fact, what I say about the show is that I've built this new show. Deanna and our team have built this new show brand around this thesis that I believe we all need to become more entrepreneurial thinkers. We all need to do more entrepreneurial thinking in our lives and in our careers or our business lives to take on the biggest challenges and biggest opportunities of the day across every sector and segment of society and industry. So to me, entrepreneurial thinking is like entrepreneurial living. It's a way to approach life. It's a way to approach your career. It's a way to approach your relationships. And it's rooted in some basic principles, right? I believe in building relationships, not connections. I believe in being a problem solver, thus being an entrepreneurial thinker, not a complainer. I believe in leading with kindness and love out into the world, into your interactions, into your negotiations, into whatever circumstances you are as a leader. And what I've been finding through this journey since we rebranded the show at the beginning of the year, so probably about a quarter of our 100 and some odd episodes that we've produced now and released, I should say, are with people who are coming to the show, meeting me for the interview in the context of this thesis that I just shared with you. And it's been a fascinating journey. Previously, the show was about mentors and giving people the opportunity to essentially mentor the audience. Now we're diving into this, like we're diving into real problems and or challenges and or opportunities in our world through the eyes and the minds of these people who have attacked them in these very creative entrepreneurial ways. And as you know, if you listen to the show, and if you don't, I really hope you would, and like it and follow it and subscribe to it and share it and all that good stuff. But if you do listen to the show, you know that we talk to people across kind of almost every sector of society professionally. We've got politicians coming up in the next couple of months. We've got former politicians. We've got business leaders. We've got investors. We've got entrepreneurs always, right? I aspire to have healthcare workers. I want to get some educators on because what I want to really do is create a platform where we can share the ideas and the insights and the motivations and the tips and the perspectives of kind of the best and brightest people that are working on the things that are again the biggest challenges or the biggest opportunities in our world today. And so what I found is there's a real commonality. The conversations are super engaging. As I listen back to them, I was listening to one last night from an editorial standpoint to help Deanna to post-produce the show to get it ready for release today, or yesterday, sorry. And I'm like, wow, these conversations are so engaging. These people are so bright. They're so positive. They're so creative. They're so, I'll say aspirational instead of ambitious. They are ambitious, many of them, but like I'll say aspirational because there's kind of more of a socially good, collective good, societal good kind of edge to them. And it got me thinking this morning on my short walk in the neighborhood before it got too hot about like, why am I enjoying these conversations so much differently even than how much I enjoyed the conversations that we had on the prior, say 80 or 90 episodes over the last 3.5, 4 years. And what it is it's really, I've realized that the people that I'm talking to now under this new premise, they share those basic bedrock principles of mine about life, right? These people tend to be relationship builders, not just transactional connectors. These people are definitely born problem solvers and not complainers. These people are kind of natively leading in their own personal lives or in their professional lives or in pursuit of their solutions. They're leading with love and kindness to those that they interact with. So they're bringing that energy to the show. I try and bring that energy on a daily basis for most of the last, 20 or so years since I kind of grew up and realized this is who I wanted to be in the world. And that marriage of energy just creates like this really comfortable, very safe, but very exciting, informative, empowering kind of space conversationally. And I re-listened to these episodes again and I'm like, wow, I want more people to listen to them and share them and like them and subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on your favorite audio podcasting platforms, because I just want more people to enjoy gathering knowledge and new perspectives as much as I'm enjoying sharing it. So I'm like, wow, I'm having an amazing time doing this. I wish you would too, or you should as well. It's no different than sharing a movie recommendation to a friend or a family member, right? Like, oh my God, I love that movie, or I love that TV show, or I love this song. You should go check it out. I have that same kind of inner energy that drives me when it comes to our show, Entrepreneurial Thinkers. We had a conversation that just dropped on your favorite audio podcasting platforms this week with Juan Garavito. And Juan Carlos is this incredible friend that I've known for probably almost about 10 years now. And he has literally lived the entrepreneurial life, the entrepreneurial thinking life on both sides of the fence. He spent a huge chunk of his life working inside the government in Colombia and helping to foster economic development and entrepreneurial economic development across Colombia and Latin America, helping entrepreneurs, right? So he was a facilitator, a support resource. a thought leader in that context, a policymaker, let's say. And now here he is, he's running this curated, organic, farmed, like specialized chocolate company called Moshe Foods, and has expanded it from Colombia to Spain. And he wasn't just happy with like going over to the other side of the entrepreneurial world. He was in his mind like, I want to reinvent the entire kind of relationship between the supply chain pieces and members that go from growing cacao in the fields of Colombia to, handing it to a consumer in a mercado in Spain. And I want to change how all of that works. I want to make all of that process and that journey more socially responsible, more sustainable, more profitable, but more profitable for everybody that's involved. And I enjoyed the conversation when we had it a few weeks back during the interview. But then as I re-listened to it before we published it, I was like, that's incredible. Like there's a person out there in the world who is dedicating his life in this way with such passion and such positivity and such of an exploratory, curious nature. And so I wake up on days when we drop new episodes and I'm like, I don't want the likes or the follows or the new listeners to satisfy our ego or just to check our clicks and all that kind of stuff. I want it because I genuinely I know that these are valuable conversations. And I know that these conversations are going to inspire the listeners and other people, other guests who we call alumni in our network, to come away from these shows having absorbed kind of a different energy about how they can entrepreneurially think about the challenges and the opportunities that are in their lives or your life. I'm talking to you. So, one of the purposes of Stoppage Time is me to share what's on my mind this in any given week, but another is to kind of point you back to the opportunity to listen to and learn from our guests that we have join us on Entrepreneurial Thinkers. 2 weeks ago, we dropped the episode with Lilly Rocha, and she just talked to us about and inspired us with the power of the immigrant Latino restaurateur or restaurant workers, kind of innovative thinking and energy and passion, and the passion with which Latino cultures bring to food and the food industry here in Estados Unidos, but everywhere, right? And it was so inspiring to understand how that fits in the overall economy of the United States, and to just put a different perspective on like what's involved when you go pick up that favorite bit of Mexican food or Colombian food or Argentinian food from your favorite spot in your neighborhood to feed your family, right? So anyway, that's my passion. It's what we're working on. This is the little bit of the hint of the why I'm working on it, and it's been basically what's consumed my mind this week outside of soccer. So simple man that I am, I'm thinking about soccer. I'm thinking about entrepreneurial thinking, and then a little sliver of me is starting to get excited about being back in my new, old, remodeled apartment next door here in the next week or so. So you'll see a new background. You'll see me in a new spot coming soon. But I want to finish up with a book recommendation on this idea of entrepreneurial thinking, I'll say, or most public people would say innovation. And it's a book called UGAD, Jugaad, Innovation. And it's by an author named Navi Raju. I had the good pleasure to meet Navi, who is an avid writer, a speaker. I think he gave a TED Talk at some point in his life. He's worked and studied at universities up and down the East Coast. Very reputable guy, incredible person, very kind, very humble. I had the good pleasure to meet him, listen to him talk to us about this book, Jugad, Innovation, when I was living in Chile, in Santiago, Chile. And so I just wanted to share that. We'll post it in the show notes. It's an incredible exploration of a fundamental truth about innovation, which is that most innovation throughout the history of mankind and the history of the world is not top-down, big dollar-driven kind of the innovation that we see when we think about an iPhone or a rocket or something like that, or technology, a software, right? It's local. It's really frugal. Like innovation is in and of itself, like being frugal with what you have, like using the limited resources that are available to you to solve a problem or seize an opportunity that will literally then make yours or the lives of the people immediately around you better, safer, healthier, more sustainable, whatever it might be. And so I've always loved this book. I've listened to it or read it a few different times. since I met Navi, and I just think it's a great read for any entrepreneur, for any investor, and then obviously for any entrepreneurial thinker in any pursuit. No matter what you're doing in your life or your career, there is a path inside of your work, inside of your career building, inside of the portfolio of things that you do to earn a living, or if it is your life as an entrepreneur or as a creative person, there is a pathway inside there for you to think more entrepreneurially about how you approach your day to day, how you approach your life, how you approach building your career and making a living, so to speak, to pay your way through the rest of your life that you live fully. There's space for all of us to become entrepreneurial thinkers, and I am absolutely 100% convinced and going to spend the next 30 or 40 years of my life that I have left to leave the imprint to help people understand that the more we all become entrepreneurial thinkers in our day to day, the better off our societies will all be for all of us. So happy stoppage time. I wish you nothing but joy, peace, love, happiness, and this week maybe a little bit of perspective to look in the mirror, think about your own life, think about your own work, and remember that you too have the power to be an entrepreneurial thinker, because at the end of the day, entrepreneurial thinking and innovation isn't something that is unattainable, that only happens with the rich, powerful, and elite. It's really at its best and at its core, historically, what comes up from the ground up. And it's change and new innovations and new ways to do anything in life comes from us as the individuals that are making the best use of the things we have available to you. So I hope you find some time to think about your life in an entrepreneurially thinking way during your stoppage time this week, Friday, July 12th. And find us here, find us on the YouTube channel, find us on our audio, on your favorite audio podcasting channels. And please like, follow, subscribe, and share, because it's for you all that I keep doing this.